I love that scene in the therapy room where Will is making that decision that he's going to get this orderly to kill Lecter.
You're right. People don't understand much about me. Or about you.
I just enjoyed this episode in general. It was nice to start playing a side to Will that was much more ruthless and much more interested about the end result, which was, in his mind at this point, just eradicating Hannibal and punishing him.
Why are you trying to help me?
Have you seen the way that smaller birds will mob a hawk on a wire? You and me, we are hawks, Mr. Graham.
Hawks are solitary.
And that's their weakness. Enough of those smaller birds get together and they chase hawks away. Imagine if the hawks started working together.
That was very refreshing for somebody who had been up to this point either very passive and unaware of what was going on in the first season, or in the second season, at the beginning, powerless, and also, much more. He was dancing a much more complicated game. And in episode 5, it just becomes, okay, I'm going to use you, I'm going to use you, because I'm going after you. The fact that I got to play that with Eddie was just an added bonus.
He is the devil, Mr. Graham. He is smoke. You never catch the Ripper. He won't be caught.
Again, having Eddie Izzard back. Eddie was just terrific in season 1, even better in season 2.
One of the important things for this show in our guest characters is that they have to hold their own against Mads Mikkelsen and Hugh Dancy and Lawrence Fishburne.
It was great. I think Eddie is great in this season. He's really, he kind of brought another layer to what he was doing. I enjoyed our scenes together.
Mr. Graham, you always did look like the boy next door. Did you really eat that poor Hobbs girl?
You can call me Will. Now we're of equal social standing.
Well, the attitude of a set is reflective in the quality of work, I believe. And I think if people are happy on the set and having a good time, then they're happy to be at work.
The dynamic of a set will always be led by the writers, the producers, the directors, of course the actors, but the people who thought about the show in the first place, who were there at the very beginning. They are the core of the show, of the atmosphere that they set.
And a lot of the attitude of the set has to come from the top people on the call sheet. So your number 1, your number 2, your number 3 are so important in setting the tone of a set. And I would say it's beyond me, it's beyond Martha, it's absolutely down to Hugh Dancy, Mads Mikkelsen, and Lawrence Fishburne to provide an atmosphere on the set that is conducive to creativity and also excellent workmanship.
A lot of top-notch professionals wanted to work on the show because it felt to them from the beginning that we were doing a serious rendition of something of quality.
And I've not been involved that much in a show. I'm not really in a show like this, where people take it really seriously. Even though to walk onto the set, you'd think that it was like a free-for-all, because people play a lot. And I think that's a good thing.
I don't want anybody working on a show for me to not want to be there. And so for me, it's very important that we have a family atmosphere on the Hannibal set. We do costume contests for Halloween.
And we actually had one the year before. This one was even bigger. And Brian, to his credit, was the one that announced it. And he set up the prizes and he emceed the prizes.
And the first winner is the Wendigo. Cafe Blue or Mountain Co-op?
I'm going to take the vacuum cleaner.
Our next winner is Dorothy and... Our next winner is Fear and Loathing. To Tinker.
But it's again giving back to those that work long, hard hours, and they give up a lot of their family life. Fortunately, we're not doing a 6-day week, but they are long, long days, and it's just, you know, episodic television is one after the other, and these are long and they're expensive, and everyone is squeezing as much as they can to give us always the quality that we want up on, I want to say, the screen. It is whatever screen we're looking at, but it is the screen.
And whenever I get to visit the set, which is actually fairly infrequently, I make it down maybe once an episode if I'm lucky, because I'm usually in production meetings or I'm in post or I'm rewriting. And so whenever I go there, I'm just thrilled to be there because I love the filmmaking process. That's the most fun, that's the payoff.
Because Brian's such a wonderful boss and a wonderful showrunner and a brilliant man, and not a dick, no one's allowed to be. Do you know what I mean? And that's really important. The moment they call cut, it's people joke around. There's not a lot of pretension. There's not a lot of, no one's like, you know, like, no one's going like, I'm in character, get away from me. No one does that. It's a scandal.
I think we feel, you know, loved and respected. And the rest of the crew feels it as well. So yeah, that's the way to create a family.
I feel this matronly sense, even though I've never been a matron. You know, Dina was the patriarch of the family. And not that I'm the matriarch of his family, but I still feel with him, we're continuing on the same journey of it's a family business.
From a family, you get hard work when they feel respected and want to be at work every day. So I think it's a very smart way of running a business, any business really.
Some people go on that side.
Pretty Lounge? Pretty Lounge, yeah. Oh no, Pretty Lounge is here.
1, 2, 3.
That one we should probably see still.
Okay.
And Intercontinental, I think that one's good.
Did you like that?
I don't know. I mean, it's in the same. For our aspect ratio, it probably doesn't give as much. We're 16:9. So this is like day for night. Yeah. It looks better in the. Where's the rest?
The preparation for them is key. Time for them to be able to deliver what we expect. We want the quality out of them, but how can they deliver if they don't have time? And it kind of backs up to how then the writing is delivered. And that blocks everybody. You know, that pretty much blocks anybody from going forward if they don't have the script to go on.
They said they wanted that image of, you know, blood going into the pool, which
so you got to be a visual effects guy.
Yeah.
So we're not going to replace the water in the pool and filter all that.
But that means everything would play in a pool as opposed to some anti-rim or some.
But that puts us into.
Well, that's what we're just discussing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
is that an option? No.
Or we just got away from the windows and sort of shooted. Like we'll show you what we could possibly shoot there. Afternoon for night, yeah.
Basically, it's like what is the location? You know, the windows. What kind of available light is there? What's in the script? Is it day, night? You know, do I have to shoot it day for day, or do I have to shoot it day for night? So there's all the kind of mechanics, basically about, you know, each location.
One of the wonderful things about filming in Toronto is that it has this fantastic history of really great, disturbing films that are mostly directed by David Cronenberg, who is a big influence on this show. So filming in his stomping ground was very exciting for me.
We had a kind of a critical point of finding the locations, because perhaps that was rewritten, we couldn't have something. The YMCA worked out perfect, and the underwater shooting.
I mean, what can I tell you about shooting underwater? It magnifies things like 30% or something. So it changes the optics of what you're doing. For that, we hired an operator who was a scuba underwater guy. And so all those underwater angles basically done with, you know, a camera and an underwater housing.
Okay. Gun is clear and safe, but it does have a little pump of air.
Pump of air in the gun, guys, just so you know. Okay, and action! Actually, reset. Hey, Matt, can you turn the other way? So again, he's supposed to be on this side.
Got what I mean? Sorry.
So he's on this side, so turn past camera the other way.
Okay, which side is the guy?
This side.
Well, he's swimming there.
Yeah, he's on your right.
Right. Which one that is then?
Try it one more time. Right. And action!
But, you know, those guys swimming those laps, that was hard work for them.
A Speedo seemed odd for him to wear, and, you know, board shorts certainly wouldn't do it. And he is European, so, I mean, it was sort of an in-between ground that we found, and ultimately it was really just a question of getting options and then seeing which one he felt best in. Again, because of the speed with which we do these things, you deal with things in order of priority, and I kind of knew this was coming along, but I started to think about it. It was in the back of my mind, but I didn't really actively work it out until, you know, just before we actually needed it. It was sort of the least noticeable in a way, because, you know, you don't want it to be all about the swimsuit. You wanted it to be about the action and the situation and the interaction with the actors. So, you know, to me the swimsuit was pretty neutral in the end and almost basic, but, you know, still had a little bit of something going on.